This is Gareth Jones on Speed, episode 59A, with coverage of the build-up to the Le Mans 24-hour race 2008. This is an enhanced podcast with images you can view on your mobile media player or computer using iTunes or Apple QuickTime. All images provided by the car manufacturers, the ACO and Gareth Jones on Speed.
Welcome aboard. We ask now that you sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight.
Welcome to Gareth Jones on Speed. I'm speaking quietly because I'm on board a Beechcraft 1900 light plane. I'm sharing this aircraft with about 12 other motoring journalists and Richard Porter. We're flying to Le Mans for the Le Mans 24-hour motor race, and you're coming with us. Enjoy the flight and enjoy the programme.
Gareth Jones on Speed!
This is Gareth Jones on Speed at Le Mans 24 hours with Peugeot.
After a very nice flight, which took about an hour from Farnborough to Le Mans, we're now ensconced in Place de République, which is in the middle of Le Mans, or perhaps the Centre Le Mans, as they say here, for what's called the Grand Parade de Pilotes, the Grand Pilots or Drivers Parade. And before the parade starts proper, there's a whole bunch of very interesting supercars presented by Bell & Coville have come by. Bell & Ross, not Bell & Coville. No, that's something completely different. With me, Richard Porter, Dan Strong from Auto Express. Dan, what cars have we seen so far?
So far, we've seen quite a collection of unusual sports cars, both the Avro 720 Mirage, extremely expensive evolution of the GT40. We've seen also the latest DBS from Aston Martin being driven by someone we think might be Jamie from Top Gear.
Hello, Jamie.
And the Gumpert Apollo, which I've never seen in the flesh before. Looks good, doesn't it?
It does look good. Oh, we've got more.
The 308 RCZ from our hosts at the lovely people of Persia.
Yeah, now Peugeot have flown us out here, so we have to applaud for this. Well, look at that.
Quite a nice looking car.
Yeah. Doesn't look anything like the TT in the flesh, does it? No. The 308 RCZ.
I saw that at the Geneva show, and it looked quite nice, but out on the street it looks bloody marvellous. That's quite good.
I'm worried, though, about the name RCZ. That there's a trend towards cars these days with slightly rude names. Like Ford are going to do a diesel version of the ST called the STD.
They were going to do a sporty version of the Ford Ka called the Car SI, but then they realised it looked like it said Kazi on the back. I thought RCZ just sounds like some new form of autism or something like that. Yeah, our youngest got RCZ. Quinus never crash. Jokes about autism.
No, that's cool. In a car show, autism jokes are on.
Well, because we're all basically
autistic, yeah. Well, we like autos, don't we?
No, I didn't.
Isn't that what it means?
I saw when that Jaguar came round before the XJR9, I did start shouting, Jaguar, 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 like a 3-year-old.
Dan Strong just told me something wonderful about a Spiker which drove past. What was it?
Yeah, we've just seen the Spiker C8 La Voilette, I believe. This car actually is made in the UK because even the Dutch won't allow something of that ilk to be built in their own country. So coming over to the UK to take part of our lax laws toward building kit cars, small Caterhams, all the rest of it, basically the C8 takes advantage of all of that and is produced, I believe, near Woking.
It's a CKD then, knockdown kit. No, KC. Oh, I hate dyslexia.
Could be either of those, but I understand it is assembled in the UK, which is why you see most of them with UK plates on.
Can I just interrupt? I can see that they're sending these little trike things around before the cars with a little girl, not a little girl, a fully grown girl. I've checked, all woman, with a sign that tells you what's coming around next. And I've just noticed. Look, she's holding up a sign with a US flag on it. It says Tesla, and then in inverted commas, électrique. This is this electric Lotus Elise thing.
Isn't it followed by a bunch of lawyers?
Cable. Oh yeah, it's still plugged in. Please remember, if you are driving a Tesla for long distance, use one of those kind of bungee cords you get on kettles for safety. Don't just have a normal cable.
A coily cable.
Yeah, people trip over it.
Now let's listen to the sound of the Tesla as it goes past.
It stopped. Do you think it's run out?
It's run out of gas.
Oh no! There's a bloke with a massive
gas.
bag of AA batteries coming out. I can see the top of the windscreen. It's there behind those people. No, it still stops. Please tell me it really has.
It's moving. It's moving. Right, let's listen to it as it goes past. Quiet, please. No discernible noise at all. Doesn't look like an Elise anymore, does it?
It's sort of windscreen in the spare it, but it's quite a pretty little thing, isn't it? Notice that it's on Norfolk registration plate.
Pagani.
Oh,
It's orange as well for those listening in black and white.
it's the Zonda F Club Sport. That's nice. Look at that.
Yeah. Sitting forward, cab forward like a Group C car.
We're joined by Mr. Kevin Jones of Peugeot.
It's a good show you put on for us here.
Yeah.
What have you?
Highlight so far, I have to say, with you here was the RCZ.
Oh, yes. Well, you got to put one in, you know.
Are there any more Peugeots running? Do you know what's running in?
Obviously, the drivers will be around soon. It's possible. We had 908, the Le Mans chassis-based car last year, which is the four-door limousine. That is drop dead gorgeous. That was here last year, as I say. Possibly might make an entrance. Just, we'll see.
Really? Forward to it.
Well, I hope so. I mean,
It's a handsome car.
it's a gorgeous car. Yeah.
Is it a runner? I didn't realise it was a runner.
It's definitely a runner. It's a hard thing to do to make apparently a limousine look stylish. Everyone make and dream of a race car, supercar look, but to make a four-door limousine look sexy, that's an achievement by the designers. It's got that sort of wet drip look, metal feel, if you like. It's just the panels are just dripping with metal, if you like.
As if someone's taken a raw chassis and dribbled mercury over it.
If you like, yes.
Yeah.
All a bit black.
Black Mercury. Sounds like an aftershave from the 80s. I like it.
Yeah, the Apprentice would have done well to call that, wouldn't they?
Hey, we're current on this show, aren't we?
Look at that. Issues that matter.
Disappointing amount of shouting from the Dutch so far. There's still time, though.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was going to say, no. It's early yet, isn't it?
Yeah.
I should say that we're actually watching from a bar which is 2 floors above La Place de République. So we've got pole position. We're doing very well
This is
here.
actually not just a bar, it's a cake shop.
A cake shop.
Yes, a
Bonus.
delicatessen store.
That's the best
Yes,
kind of bar.
Yes, be
Someone else
happy.
coming around.
Now-
Tramonton. Oh, God, I saw this
Yeah,
at
we-
Geneva. Bloody awful
Come
waste
on,
of time.
car spotters. Who is it? What is it? Tell
It's a
us.
Spanish V12. It's like they've sort of taken a kind of an Ariel Atom maybe or something and then put a bit more bodywork on it, but upscaled it by about 500%.
And it's a
put
tandem.
V12 in it. Total waste of everybody's time. It annoys me, this car. And this year at Geneva they had the basic carbon fibre hull. It just looked like a beached high-tech whale. It was ridiculous.
And what's their reasoning for making it a tandem? Just make
just
it
to
noticed.
annoy me more with its pointlessness.
Work then.
Let's go.
It's done very well.
So that was the tram in the distance.
I'm very disappointed that the trams that run in Le Mans don't have Gulf painted on the side, at least.
But it is a 24-hour service, I believe.
Oh, stop it.
It probably isn't.
That's like a Prowler, isn't it?
It is like a
Just look
Prowler.
how
at
big
the
it
front.
is. Look how big that car is.
V12. What's V16?
V12, I think. I can't remember where from. But
It's an insect.
what a waste of time that car is.
Is that a Firebird? What's that? Koenigsegg.
Yes.
He looks rather Swedish, doesn't he?
And the Veyron.
Swedish.
Ladies and gentlemen, full respect to the Veyron
Yes.
incoming.
I think they got them in the right order, actually.
Well, they promised us supercars, and they definitely delivered. It's race day now, and we've established a position by the curves just before the start-finish straight. Richard and I ensconced very nicely in the Peugeot hospitality. Not a bad place to be, Richard, is it?
I'm not complaining at the moment. I've just checked my good time monitor, and conditions are good. We're just watching the. Well, it's not historic. Historic makes it sound really sort of like wire wheelie. They're not. They're the sort of 80s Le Mans cars. And the Jaguar XJR12 is in the lead, driven by Justin Law. We've just checked the money in there, and his best time. Here we go. Listen to that.
There we go.
There we go. There he is. Right. You know the silk cut livery Jaguar XJR12. That's what we've got here. Justin Law is driving it. His best lap time 3:47. Now that's not shabby. In fact, that's the opposite of shabby. That's bloody good. So they're not hanging around. It's brilliant.
And this is
brilliant.
just a support race.
I know, this is just a warm-up. This is like going to see U2 and finding that the Beatles are on first.
As if the position I was in watching the support race for Le Mans this year wasn't elevated enough already, I'm also sharing this platform with probably one of my favourite motoring journalists, Steve Cropley, columnist for Autocar. Steve, are you a Le Mans fan?
Oh yeah, I guess I've been here eight times. I've never done it by sort of in a soft house way in the car park or anything like that, but a dedicated hospitality enthusiast, and there's some pretty good hospitality at Le Mans.
So, in the past, you've always done it in this style then? You've flown in, or have you driven over?
Oh, no, driven various times. Come on, motorbike once, was pretty good.
Was that the best trip? Because I think one of the best parts of Le Mans is that it's a people's show. You take part in the race yourself by driving over. Yeah. What was the best car you've driven over in?
Oh, I drove over one year in a Citroën Light 15, which was slow but stately, and it was good. It was all the French loved it, and it you never had to pass anybody. It was good.
You weren't tempted to come in your Bentley this year then?
Well, actually, it would have been a pretty good idea, but as you know, when confronted, let's say, with an aeroplane ticket and an airfield right next to the circuit, it's a bit difficult to say no, just like yourself, Gareth.
Yeah, absolutely. I usually camp, as you know, but this time I'm afraid flying in and standing up here. What a great position we've got.
We were just saying, it's as if this stand was positioned and then they put the circuit round it, I think.
I think they must have known we were coming, Steve.
Yeah, I think they did.
Thank you. I look forward to talking to you during the race.
Cheers.
Speed at Le Mans!
The 76th edition of the 24-hour race at Le Mans begins in just a little over an hour's time. So Richard and I have gathered in the Peugeot hospitality to look at the grid and decide who it is we're going to back for this race. It's impossible to predict who's going to win, really, isn't it?
Well, yeah, because we were just saying outside, weren't we? It's a war of attrition, so you just don't know. You really don't know. By the way, that noise you can hear in the background is people coming up the stairs.
And really what a lot of people are coming up the stairs to watch this race.
Live here in the hospitality. If we're just quiet for a minute, that's the sound of people getting free stuff.
And they're playing the Finnish national anthem in the background. You probably can't hear it. It is, yeah, for Mika Salo. We'll start at the back of the grid.
Right,
then,
you've done your homework on this because you've been through this list. I'm playing catch up here, but go on. Who are you picking? Okay.
Well, in LMGT2, which is basically road cars.
Yeah.
It's not the guy in the Peugeot 106 I'm backing, but the number 82 car, which is a Ritzy competition American car. It's a Ferrari F4330 GT, and it's driven by Mika Salo, Jamie Mello and Gian Maria Bruni, who I used to back in British Formula 3 about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So I've got to support that car. Now, what about you in LMGT2?
Well, I was just looking at this, and I am just looking at this. We've got these little entry lists here. Do you see, immediately I'm drawn to the Flying Lizard Motorsports team. They're running a 911 GT3.
That would be the car Zog would support on the grounds of their excellent 1981 single, I think. I think that was a different Flying Lizards.
I know, but it's the name. I'm purely going for the name. I'm picking teams out of this like a rank amateur.
Who's driving the Flying Lizards car?
Jörg Bergmeister, again a good name. Johan van Overbeek, again a good name. And Seth Nyman. Seth's a good name, isn't he?
I had a dog called Seth.
Did
once.
you?
I did, yeah. But I don't think he's in the car.
Okay, well, it was really, I suppose, I'm going to support the Virgo Motorsport Ferrari F430 because they're a British team. Robert Bell, Tim Sugden, Tim Mullen, good British names as well there. Good sturdy names.
Proper names.
Yeah.
Dave Smith, you know.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, LMGT1, which is modified road cars.
Yes.
Well, by a large extent.
Quite modified.
I'm going for the 009 Aston Martin, which is driven by David Brabham, who I've actually overtaken in a karting championship once, so maybe he's not that good. But Antonio Garcia and Darren Turner are the other two in that car, and it's in the Gulf colours. I mean, whoa.
I know. You see, now I want to support. Well, I am supporting the 009 Aston Martin because it's in the Gulf colours. But I'd also like to go and say I'm equally supporting the 007 Aston Martin because it's driven by Carl Wendlinger, and I thought World Party did quite a few good singles back in the 90s. So yeah.
Hans-Gerald Frenzen's also in that car.
It's a really obscure Muso joke, though. I'm sorry.
We're just choosing on music, really. It's got nothing to do with
But
motorsport.
they've got Heinz-Harald Frentzen in there in the 007. So yeah, but Astons generally just support the Astons.
Although I've noticed that they're going to put, what's the name of the actor who plays Mulder in X-Files? Mulder.
David Duchovny.
David Duchovny is acting as Heinz-Harald Frenzen's stunt double, I believe. They look exactly the same.
How weird.
Okay.
Just tell you something really great here. We're winging this because we're live on the ground in Le Mans, and I am childishly excited about everything. A brilliant moment. They wheeled the cars out earlier on for the lineup on the pit straight, so people can go and mill around the cars. And
the one of the Astons was being pushed down there alongside one of the Corvettes, and they entered into a race, and they were running. These blokes, these burly mechanics, were running like crazy in a race for the line.
It's great,
It was
isn't it?
so brilliant. And then afterwards, and the Corvettes just won, although I'd like a steward's inquiry on this, but then they all shook each other's hands, and I just thought, this is Le Mans all over.
It's proper racing, isn't
bloody
it?
good blokes having a bloody good time.
Yeah, you and me, not the least of them. Okay, LMP2, the slightly smaller sports prototypes.
Yep. Well, what are you going for?
I'm going for the number 34 Porsche RS Spider, because if Zog were here, that would be the car he would support, being a big Porsche fan. It's from the Van Merkstein motorsport team, who are Netherlands, and Peter Van Merkstein's driving, as is Jos Verstappen and Jeroen Bleekemolen.
Yeah, great names, and of course the boss is in there. We love the boss.
And the car is purple, which to you and me is violet, so this is one for my missus as well.
Look at that, that's like practically a dedication on air.
Yeah, well,
yeah, you softy you are.
If it wasn't for Violet, I wouldn't be here. She wouldn't let me come otherwise.
Funny hollow laugh. The ladies, we love them. Well, I'm with you on that. I like that, but also I'm going to keep an eye on the Speedy Racing Team Seba.
Hey, named after this programme.
Yes, well, that's one reason. They're in Lola Judd. The other is because one of their drivers is Xavier Pompidou, and when we saw them last night, we were watching the drivers' parade, and they hold up the boards with the drivers' names on, but of course they just do the initial and then the surname, and of course, so his initial is X, and I've always dreamed of my initial being X.
Xavier Pompidou, you don't suppose he's French, dear?
I'd heard that he was from Reading, but... Anyway, my other tip, well, it's not a tip, it's just people I'm rooting for, based entirely on names, in P2, is Team Essex, who are not from Essex, they're from Denmark. Yeah. They're in a Porsche RS Spider. John Nielsen, Kasper Elgaard, and Sascha Maassen driving that. I don't know who any of those people are or what the car looks like, but I just like the idea of Team Essex, because I want it to be in JPS colours, even though I know it's not.
If Sascha Maassen crosses the line first, you know you've got to shout, don't you? Booyaka, Sasha!
I was just going to go, Incha! If Team Essex does well.
Which puts us into the big boys now. Here we go, LMP1. We'll start at the bottom and work up. You go first, go on.
So what, start at the bottom of the entire list?
Yeah, there's a lot of cars, aren't there? 24 cars?
I'll be honest, I can't be bothered to read them out because I'm going to mangle the pronunciation.
23 cars.
I've just noticed, look, you should be keeping tabs on here. Chamberlain Synergy Motorsport, they're a British team running a Lola, but one of their drivers is Gareth Evans. Now, there's a Welshman. Well, they've also got Amanda Stretton in there.
I don't think he is Welsh, but he's got a good Welsh name, so we'll observe carefully how that one's doing. It's probably the best placed British car, I would say, in the LMP1 category.
Yep.
I'll tell you who I'm looking at, though. The Roll Centre Racing Pescarolo Judd, driven by Stefan Gregory, João Barbosa, who's flirted with A1GP briefly.
Good name.
But my favourite female racing driver of them all, Vanina X. And again, this is for Zog, because Zog loves Vanina.
Yep.
Not only is she a good driver, but she's gorgeous.
She's gorgeous.
And in Le Mans, where having more fun is more important than winning, that's more important.
Okay, but the brass tacks here. We're sitting in the Peugeot hospitality suite. We've just had a lovely Peugeot lunch. It
was good, wasn't it? The salmon.
I didn't have the salmon.
Oh, smoked
Listen
salmon.
to us. We've changed. We'd be having some of those really weird, manky sort of, they're chips, but they're not chips, things that you can buy all over the circuit here normally, and a pint of warm lager in a plastic glass. But I had a really delicious white wine and some really nice food.
And the champagne was good last night, wasn't it?
Champagne was good. We were such sellouts. Anyway, but we're talking about Peugeot. I am rooting for Peugeot because I think they've got a good shot at it, and they qualified at the front for a start. Although that really means nothing, does it?
Well, I think it's a psychological blow. If you've got a car that's 3 seconds faster than the Audi,
for sure,
they're going to be trying harder to keep up. May put a bit of pressure on the car, on the system. It could break. But the key difference between the Peugeot and the Audi, as I understand, is that the Audi's quicker to repair than the Peugeot, and things do break.
Yes.
So it could be all in the reliability, but they've got a quick car, and they're well prepared. And full respect to Peugeot for taking the race to Audi, who dominated this race for the last 7 years.
That's why I think of all the cars here, you can't rule anything out, but I think the Peugeots have the best chance of taking victory over the Audis, and it would be nice just to see someone else win. So
which one were you going for?
Well, I'm going for the number 8 car, which is driven by Pedro Lamy, Stéphane Sarrazin and Alexander Wurz, just because I can't support the number 7 car. I'm supporting the number 8 because it's on pole, but the number 7 car, Marc Genet, yes, good man, Nicolas Minassian, good man, lives just down the road from the Top Gear test track as well.
Is that
really? Right? Yeah, and
But they've got Jacques Villeneuve in there.
Well, I'm supporting Jacques for this,
No,
you see.
don't.
I was quite fond of Jacques, I really was. He's a bit of a punk, and I'm a bit of a punk, so good luck to him.
He's a bit of something that's got a U.
I'm backing the Red 7 Team Peugeot Total Peugeot 908 HDI FAP. And do you know what FAP stands for?
It is French for some kind of filter system. I think it's fuel. Is it
filter air particulation, I believe. It's a particulate air filter which collects all the carbon particulates from the diesel engine.
You told me something quite interesting about that last night.
Yeah, go on. You tell them then. Go on.
No, because I'll get it wrong.
Okay. Well, it's basically a big bag of carborundum, big muffler of carborundum, which is highly porous. It absorbs all the diesel particulates and then gets hot, and because it gets hot, it literally dissolves all those diesel particulates to smaller bits, so it doesn't clog up the exhaust system, so it breathes properly.
But this is something they can only do in a race car because it runs that hot. A road car would never really get that hot.
No, you have to take the diesel particulate filter out or have it cleaned in situ to do that, but because it's a race car, it does it as it's going. Isn't that brilliant?
Through the looking glass here, people. Just one quick one before we wrap up this, because we've also got our eye on the Lola Aston Martin.
Yeah.
Aston Martin, their little toe in the water in LMP1. They've got Stefan Mook, Jan Charroux and Thomas Enger.
Thomas Enger, who's always handy, Thomas.
We like Thomas Enger.
Oh, we do. We've always liked Thomas Enger. He's appeared on this programme. They're running the number 10 car by Charroux Racing, although it's really a pro-drive car, isn't it? We have to mention the Audis. I think of all the Audis, I think the favourite to win this year has got to be the number 2. If they manage to beat the Peugeots, stay ahead of the Peugeots. The number 2 Audi is driven by Dindo Capello, wee Alan McNish and Tom Christensen. Now, Alan McNish has been unbelievably unlucky and hasn't won this race since, I think, was it 98 or 99? I think it was 98. And he's hungry for the win. So if any Audi's going to win, that's the one I would back. But really, I'm backing Jack in the Red 7 Peugeot.
They've got Tom Christensen, and as you said earlier on, it made me laugh really hard. Tom Christensen, he's such a good driver. 1 year at Le Mans, he won twice.
That's true. There have been 76 events here at Le Mans. I think Tom Christian has won 150 times. That's the sound of all the cars lining up on the grid as they've done their first lap and they're off. The start of the 76th running of the Le Mans 24 hours. Something like 24,000 horsepower crosses the line. That's the end of the coverage of the build-up to the 24 hours of Le Mans 2008. Coverage of the race itself will be available in Gareth Jones on Speed episode 60, ready for download from midday Greenwich Mean Time on Tuesday the 17th of June 2008.
You can write to the show on speed at garethjones.tv. Download and subscribe for free at garethjones.tv or the iTunes Store. Mobile TV and race data supplied by Kangaroo TV. Gareth Jones on Speed at Le Mans 2008 was made by Whiz Bang with the kind assistance of Peugeot.